What's happening, guys? This is James Blom from MMOHut.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements of the week ending August 26th, 2013. The first bit of news this week comes from Gaijin Entertainment in the news from last week's Gamescom that War Thunder is set to be a PlayStation 4 launch title. War Thunder for the PS4 will have more than 300 historically accurate World War II military vehicles right at launch, not to mention hundreds more added in updates simultaneously in sync with the PC version, of course. Anyone will be able to download War Thunder from the PlayStation Store for free and play it without any restrictions. In addition, owners of the PlayStation Plus subscription will actually get bonus content, and some exclusive content will be provided for all PS4 owners. That's interesting. The coolest part is that it's actually cross-platform compatible with PC, so both PC players and PS4 players can battle it out on the same map. Surprisingly enough, Guild Wars 2 just concluded their first ever free-to-play weekend. The game was actually free-to-play from Friday the 23rd through Sunday the 25th, giving players who haven't experienced the game the opportunity to do so. It does make me wonder how often they plan on doing this, but knowing ArenaNet, these sort of events typically tell us that other exciting news is coming soon about their other games. So here's a rough and unofficial prediction for you. I can see it now. Guild Wars 2 goes free-to-play Spring 2014, then at the same time Blade & Soul closed beta begins. Let's just see if that happens. I'm calling it now. Disclaimer, this could be far from accurate. Last week, Riot Games unleashed the long-awaited gunslinger for League of Legends, Lucian, the Purifier. This high-mobility marksman has a passive called Light Slinger that grants him a double attack each time he casts an ability, with the second attack doing reduced damage over the first. One of his skills, called Relentless Pursuit, allows him to dash a short distance, removing slows and similar effects, but also allows him to pass through certain barriers. Now, his ultimate, called the Culling, allows Lucian to send a barrage of bullets towards his enemy continuously, but he's also able to move, dash, or reposition while channeling his ultimate, and that itself seems pretty cool. Also last week, Riot Games had a breach of account information across the North American servers, which included 120,000 transaction records from a few years ago. So you know what that means. Time to change your password. It's nice that they actually came out and told their player base immediately, though. Gamescom brought in some news for FireFall last week. The Stage 2 of Open Beta is underway as of this past Friday. Stage 2 is about expanding the world and testing the mechanics of finally being able to push back the melding and continuing the war with the Chosen. As players work together to push back the melding, Chosen fortresses will become uncovered and players must besiege and destroy them before the melding stays back. Plus, as players destroy fortresses, new Chosen technology gets revealed which can be researched and turned into new recipes for crafted gear and items. Once a major area of the melding is pushed back, that warfront gets converted into a full zone and a new story-based instance will become available, unlocking the next chapter of FireFall. Next up, Sony Online Entertainment released a clean-looking pre-launch trailer last week for Dragon's Prophet, showing off the various elements within the game and revealing a lot of new content. In-game events, more guild-based features such as the Frontier system, which is a guild versus guild territory PvP battle system, group raids, and multi-stage boss fights. Like we've mentioned in the past, the game launches next month on the 18th, and from seeing the game once again at SOE Live, a lot has changed for the better since the game was in closed beta, and if you haven't actually played the game since then, I'd definitely say it's worth a second look now. SOE also showed us a little more EverQuest Next during Gamescom, demonstrating the creative possibilities of EQ Next Landmark with terraforming and the construction of Ashfang. The details in the short time frame needed to make something like this is just awesome. It's hard to believe that Landmark is actually going to be available by the end of the year. For now, it'd be kind of cool to see an official trailer or something. Gamescom also brought in interesting news for Hi-Rez Studios and Smite for players around the world. Tencent, the fourth largest gaming company in the world, has partnered up with Hi-Rez Studios for worldwide publishing for Smite. I guess that means that Hi-Rez is taking the next step in getting Smite even higher on the top MOBA roster. With support coming in from Tencent, along with so many soon-to-be players from around the world, who knows what will be in store for Smite in the not-so-distant future. Victory Games released a sweet new trailer at Gamescom for Command & Conquer, revealing the online campaign missions players can expect at the release of the game. And from the looks of Gamescom's presentations, the UI and map design has increased a bit since I saw it at E3, and it already looked good. It's also pretty cool that they built a tank as their centerpiece for their booth at Gamescom. Last week, the new title from Area Games, F.E.A.R Online, received its full website, and as of now, the game seems to be a F.E.A.R-themed shooter with 2 factions, 10 maps, and 5 PvP-based game modes. The Armored Front PvP mode, for example, is a battle to control strategic points with the added twist of a single powerful mech armor available to each team. The game also seems to have co-op scenarios similar to Warface, where up to 4 players will work together to get through tough situations that challenge you differently all the time, like escape mode, challenging a team of players to work together to run from a looming wall of fiery death. From the trailer here, it seems like it's got a lot of F.E.A.R 2 influence with a couple of modes from F.E.A.R 3, but hopefully this game can hold true even though it's not the original F.E.A.R team developing the game. And speaking of shooters and Warface particularly, the final phase of closed beta testing restarted for Warface last week. Open to registered members of Crytek's G-Face service, the latest Warface closed beta marks the beginning of a fresh period of testing ahead of the game's release in North America, Europe, and Turkey. If you missed the closed beta weekend this past weekend, register on their website and look forward to another one coming this weekend. A new content update hits Lost Saga that introduces Mei and Johnny from Guilty Gear as the latest premium heroes, wielding their iconic anchor and an army of sea creatures to go along with it. The biggest part of this recent update is players are able to build unique creations with blocks, Minecraft style. It's interesting what WeMade has added to Lost Saga. It's just too bad that they don't have the game available to people around the world. Anyway guys, that's about it for MMO news and announcement this week. Neverwinter's first module, Fury of the Feywild, is now available to players, and congrats to those of you who actually won the collector's chest in the giveaway from last week. There are a few winners that haven't responded yet, so check your MMOHut forum inbox. Anyway guys, if you're looking for more information about the news feature this week, check the links in the description below, then find more news at MMOHut.com/news. Feel free to discuss the news in the description below, or head over to the MMOHut forums. But until next time guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.